Hey Samford fans, welcome into another edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up. I'm John McAfoose, happy to be joined today by volleyball head coach Keeler Chan. And Coach, we're going to talk a little bit about your tournament last weekend that opened the season, and I'd love to start just talking a little bit about that LMU match. I know some weird things happened, and you can kind of explain it, but I think the gist of it was kind of there was a challenge that was not overturned. You played a couple of points, and then they went back and overturned it. How was that kind of communicated to you when that was going on?
You kind of wrapped it up. It was an anomaly and something very unique. I don't think no one's ever seen it before, and it's unfortunate in a lot of ways, and it's just part of the game though. So we have to learn to overcome those things. But a pretty difficult start of the year for sure.
Yeah, you dropped two 5-setters on that Friday to App State and LMU, but then you rebounded in a big way. You beat Arizona on their home court. They're a top 25 team. It's the first time in Samford volleyball program history that you've upset a top 25 team. What does that mean for this year's team to get a win that big this early in the season?
It's a tough one. I mean, it's still super early, and everyone's figuring some things out. But it's a place to build from. You know, at the beginning of the years, we've always scheduled very challenging matches, and I think that at the end of it, what you're trying to do is you're trying to see what you're good and bad at, and I think we were able to escape Arizona, and the core of what we do defensively was very good, and I think that it'll hopefully lay the foundation for the rest of the year.
Like you said, it is early, but what were kind of some of the things you saw that you liked and did not like from your first weekend of play?
I liked our overall schemes and packages and the way we came about things. I like the fact that after Friday's really tough day of playing and losing two 5-set matches, we came back and showed the determination and discipline to continue down the journey of becoming a better volleyball team and getting a win against Arizona. So those things I really enjoyed. I thought we played really well at the Pens. I think Kelsey Hobbs, Grace Theismann, and Lauren Deaton really did a really nice job, along with Corinne Meglick, our setter, distributing the ball. So I think that those things were really highlights for us during the weekend. The tough thing, we need to get better in the middle attacking. I think that we blocked pretty well as middles, but the attacking piece we definitely have to get better at if we want to fulfill our potential this year.
I know in the preseason we talked about the big freshman class, 6 freshmen, and you said they all kind of have a chance to make an early impact. We saw a couple that played a lot in all 3 matches, Andy Solaski, Emily Naubert. What did you see out of those two?
A mixed bag, we saw some nerves on the first day and Friday, and then what was great is on Saturday they bounced back and they've got that under their belt and they really played well, and I think we're going to need both of them and maybe a couple other freshmen to really help this team get to where it wants to be, especially with an injury to one of our marquee players coming in.
You got your first home action this weekend, the Samford Invitational. 3 in-state teams, Jacksonville State, UAB, and North Alabama. Should be a fun time for any volleyball fans in the state of Alabama. Just give us a little preview of that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of fight for who's the best in the state of Alabama. But at the end of the day, we're most concerned about getting better, and we talk about that all the time in our program. And really, what we're hopeful is that we've worked on things. We see some traction in those things we want to work on, and then we continue to do the things that really matter in volleyball, which is serve, pass, and attack the ball really well. And if we can do those 3 things and encompass the other things we're trying to build on that we learned from the Arizona weekend, it'll be a successful weekend for us.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend.
Great, thank you. Go Bulldogs.
That's Samford head coach Keeler Chan. Stay tuned. We've still got an interview with Lauren Deaton coming up next.
Hi, I'm Sam Pritchard, and this is Samford Sports Minute presented by Brombergs. The soccer team is coming off a strong weekend, beating Western Kentucky 3-2 in double overtime and tying a good LSU side 2-2. They also played MTSU Thursday night and pulled out a good victory. They'll look to continue their good run of form against the number 6 team in the country, Florida State, and pull off the upset on Sunday. The volleyball team fell to Loyola Marymount and Appalachian State last weekend, but had a huge win over the number 24 team in the country, Arizona. This was the first top 25 win in the history of the program. The Bulldogs play at home this weekend in the Samford Invitational against North Alabama on Friday and Jacksonville State and UAB on Saturday. The football team had a heartbreaking 59-58 loss in double overtime last weekend against Tennessee Tech. They have a bye this weekend, but will look to rebound from their tough start when they head to Wofford next Saturday. And finally, a couple Samford sports are set to begin this weekend. Both cross-country teams compete in their first meet of the season on Saturday at the University of Montevallo. The men's golf team also begins its season with the Sam Hall Intercollegiate on Monday and Tuesday. I'm Sam Pritchard, and this has been your Samford Sports Minute presented by Brombergs.
Welcome back to the Samford Sports Wrap-Up. I'm joined now by sophomore outside hitter Lauren Deaton. Lauren, appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about kind of your off season, and going back to last year, you made a huge impact as a freshman, SoCon Freshman of the Year. When you are coming off a year that big, what do you kind of set for yourself as far as goals and improving going into your sophomore campaign?
I knew I needed to get stronger for sure. I felt weak last year. Physically, I knew I needed to get stronger. And just being perpetually dissatisfied with anything that ever happens. Awards don't really mean much if you don't do great the next season. So I knew that I needed to come back stronger and better and get tougher and more physical.
And you come out, pretty much pick up where you left off last year, career high 31 kills in your first match against LMU. You're the SoCon Offensive Player of the Week. And I know really one of the highlights from last weekend was that upset win over Arizona, the first time Samford has ever upset a top 25 team. Tell us about that experience and what that was like for you guys.
I mean, it was an awesome experience. We set a goal this year to do things that no other Samford team has done in the past. And our goal this year is to win a round, and playing a team like Arizona, knowing that they're in the top 25 and we could get put up against a team like that when we travel to the first round. It was just a good feeling to know that we can beat teams like that, and we have the grit to do so. But knowing that we have so much to work on and we can get so much better is also exciting.
You're a team captain this year as well, one of three along with Kelsey Hobbs and Courtney Johnson. Talk about what that means to you and some of the responsibilities that come along with that.
I mean, it's an honor to be a captain on a team like this, and I think learning last year from Taylor Anderton and still learning from the captains this year, I think is a big thing. I know I still have a lot more to learn, but getting to lead this team in my sophomore year is an honor for sure. But I know I have a lot more to learn as a captain.
It's pretty obvious you guys are a pretty tight-knit group. We see some of the videos on social media from the volley vlogs and you guys traveling to Arizona. Kind of tell us what some of the things you guys do as a group when you've got an off day or just not practicing when you're on the road.
We just keep things light. We have a lot of inside jokes. We make up our own songs. We just crack jokes at each other all the time. It's a great team to be on. We call ourselves the sisterhood, and that is absolutely a true statement. Like, we are definitely. I don't have any sisters, but they're the 15 sisters I couldn't have asked for a better group of girls to play with.
And you've got your home opener this weekend. You've got 3 in-state teams here. I'm sure you're all looking forward to getting back out on your home court.
For sure. It's good to be home, especially after a long weekend away. A lot of flights, a lot of traveling. It's just good to be back home.
Lauren, I appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Samford will open the season Friday night against North Alabama, 7:30 p.m. Central Time here at the Pete Hanna Center. Special thanks to Lauren Deaton and head coach Keeler Chan for joining me on this edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up. We'll see you next week.